Welcome to Hydrohaven, where we believe the secret to extraordinary gardens lies beneath the surface. Today, we're diving deep into the rich, dark world of humus and uncovering time-tested Amish techniques that have built some of the most fertile soils in America. If you're struggling with lifeless soil that seems to resist your best efforts, these 6 transformative approaches to building humus will revolutionize your garden's productivity and resilience. Understanding true humus, the foundation of soil health. Before we explore the Amish methods, let's clarify what genuine humus actually is. Many gardeners confuse compost with humus, but they're distinctly different. Humus represents the final stage of organic matter decomposition, a stable, complex substance that can persist in soil for decades or even centuries. This dark, spongy material consists of complex carbon chains that resist further breakdown while providing incredible benefits: unmatched water retention, nutrient storage, pH buffering, and creating the perfect habitat for beneficial soil microorganisms. The Amish have long understood that building true humus doesn't happen overnight. Their multi-generational approach to soil building has evolved techniques that accelerate humus formation while maintaining soil ecology. Tip 1. The subsoil activation method. The Amish practice of subsoil activation remains virtually unknown in conventional gardening circles. This technique addresses the critical issue of disconnection between topsoil and subsoil layers, a common problem in raised beds and gardens with poor drainage. To implement this method, carefully dig narrow trenches 12 to 18 inches deep at 2-foot intervals across your garden bed. Fill these trenches with a mixture of coarse organic material, small wood chips work well, combined with aged manure, fallen leaves, and a handful of native soil from a healthy woodland area. This creates what the Amish call soil highways, channels that allow beneficial fungi, bacteria, and earthworms to migrate upward from deeper soil layers while simultaneously improving drainage and aeration. As these trenches decompose over seasons, they form columns of humus that extend far deeper than traditional compost incorporation, creating drought resistance and structural stability throughout the entire soil profile. One Amish farmer in Lancaster County credits this technique with helping his garden survive a 3-month drought with minimal irrigation, while neighboring farms struggled with crop failures. Tip 2. The 3-layer fermentation system. The Amish 3-layer fermentation approach accelerates humus formation far beyond conventional composting. Begin by creating a 4-inch foundation layer of coarse woody materials like twigs, hedge trimmings, and straw. Sprinkle this with a handful of rich forest soil or previously made humus to introduce beneficial decomposers. Cover this with a 3-inch layer of nitrogen-rich materials like fresh grass clippings, green weeds before they've gone to seed, or vegetable scraps. The magic happens in the 3rd layer, a 2-inch covering of partially decomposed leaves mixed with a small amount of clay soil. This final layer creates what Amish gardeners call a fermentation cap that maintains perfect moisture while allowing minimal air exchange. This controlled environment promotes the development of actinomycetes and specialized fungi that create stable humus compounds rather than simply breaking down organic matter into nutrients. Water this layered system only when the middle feels dry to the touch, approximately once every 7 to 10 days in warm weather. After 4 to 6 months, you'll have a rich humus material that contains significantly more stable carbon compounds than traditional compost, making it superior for long-term soil building. Tip 3. The liquid humus extract technique. The Amish liquid humus extract represents one of their most powerful soil restoration tools, particularly for quickly reviving severely depleted soil. To create this potent solution, fill a cloth bag, an old pillowcase works perfectly, with equal parts mature forest humus, collected from beneath healthy hardwood trees, finished compost, and aged herbivore manure. Suspend this bag in a 5-gallon bucket of rainwater with 2 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses, added as a microbial food source. Cover loosely, and let this steep in dappled shade for 7 to 14 days, stirring clockwise each morning to create a gentle vortex that incorporates oxygen without disrupting the developing microbial communities. The resulting dark liquid contains not just nutrients but living microorganisms, enzymes, and humic substances that immediately begin soil transformation when applied. Dilute this liquid humus extract at a ratio of 1 to 10 with water for soil drenching, applying approximately 1 gallon per square yard of garden space. For severely depleted soils, apply 3 times at 2-week intervals at the beginning of the growing season. Many Amish gardeners report seeing dramatic soil structure improvements within just one growing cycle using this method. Tip 4. The cover crop cocktail approach. The Amish diversity-focused approach to cover cropping stands in stark contrast to the single-species methods often promoted in modern gardening. Their multi-species cocktails typically include at least 7 different plant types, each serving a specific soil-building function. A traditional Amish cover crop mix might include cereal rye for erosion control and organic matter, hairy vetch for nitrogen fixation, buckwheat for phosphorus mobilization, phacelia for pollinator support and biomass, daikon radish for subsoil penetration, crimson clover for nitrogen and beneficial insect habitat, and flax for mycorrhizal fungal development. Rather than terminating these cover crops at a specific growth stage, the Amish practice stepped termination, cutting different sections at different times over several weeks. This creates a natural succession of decomposition processes that builds more complex forms of humus. Allow the cut material to wilt for 48 hours before gently incorporating just the top portion into the soil surface, leaving roots intact to decompose naturally within the soil profile. This builds what the Amish call living humus, a particularly active form rich in microbial life. Tip 5. The mineral balance integration. The Amish recognize that true humus formation requires more than just organic matter. It demands proper mineral balance. Their traditional approach includes regular applications of specific rock dusts and naturally occurring substances to provide the mineral cofactors necessary for complex humus compounds to form. The ideal blend combines basalt rock dust for broad-spectrum trace minerals, glacial rock dust for silica and slow-release potassium, and small amounts of calcium sources like crushed eggshells or gypsum. Apply this mineral blend at approximately 5 pounds per 100 square feet in early spring, gently working it into the top inch of soil. These minerals serve as structural components in humus formation, while also providing binding sites for nutrients that might otherwise leach away during heavy rains. An Amish farming proverb says, "Feed the soil its stones, and it will feed your plants for seasons." This mineral integration creates what soil scientists now recognize as organo-mineral complexes, the most stable and beneficial form of humus. Tip 6. The Humus Preservation Protocol. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of humus building is preventing the destruction of what you've already created. The Amish humus preservation approach involves 3 key practices: minimal tillage, continuous soil coverage, and careful irrigation management. Limit soil disturbance to the top 2 to 3 inches, using broad forks for deeper aeration rather than turning. Keep soil covered year-round with either living plants or organic mulch to prevent oxidation of humus compounds by UV radiation. When irrigating, apply water slowly and less frequently to maintain consistent moisture without the cycles of flooding and drying that accelerate humus decomposition. Additionally, avoid high-nitrogen synthetic fertilizers, which stimulate bacterial populations that consume humus faster than it can form. Instead, use diluted compost teas and plant-based liquid fertilizers that nourish plants without disrupting the soil's humus-building processes. Building a living legacy in your garden. These 6 Amish techniques represent a holistic approach to soil building that goes beyond quick fixes to create truly regenerative garden systems. By focusing on humus development rather than just nutrient management, you're creating soil that becomes more fertile and resilient with each passing season. Here at Hydrohaven, we believe these traditional wisdom approaches, when adapted thoughtfully for modern gardens, offer the most sustainable path forward for home food production and ornamental gardening alike. I'd love to hear about your experiences as you implement these techniques in your own garden. Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of time-tested growing methods, and share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to transform their soil from lifeless dirt into living, thriving earth. Remember, when we build humus, we're not just growing better gardens, we're healing our small piece of the planet.